Okay guys, Jay at Auto Performance here. I said I was going to show you this, and I apologize I didn't build this on camera or anything. I just don't have anybody to hold the camera for me, and I guess I could set it up on a stand, but you know, this was so simple. You don't even need to see me build it. And I just want to show you this because, again, this is, you know, this series is about getting your project done and not trying to get too technical and involved in it, and you know, where you never finish it. So I needed a dolly to transport this cab around, and the bed at some point as well, you know, and other projects in the future. But so I needed, you know, I always wanted to have a little body dolly, and you know, like a lot of you, I thought, yeah, you know, one of these days I'm gonna go and I'll get some square tubing, you know, some steel square tubing, and you know, weld some deal up, and you know, in your mind you're gonna build this big elaborate thing, and you know, you got so many plans for it, and you want it to be super nice. And you know, sometimes I stop myself and say, man, what are you doing? You got to restore the truck. We don't need to spend a week or 2 weeks building a dolly to move the cab. It doesn't make sense. So here's what we got here. And this isn't, you know, I'm showing this because I don't think that I'm impressive or I'm a great designer or a carpenter. It's quite the opposite. I literally had two 2x8, 12-foot long pieces of board sitting in one of my garage bays that I've been tripping over for months. Just in my way, but you know, it's wood, it's 2x8s, they're 12-footers. Yeah, they'll be good for something one day. Didn't want to throw them out, but they're kind of, you know, in my way. So I need a body dolly because I want to get this thing in the spray booth like we've talked about, if you've been following along with this international series. So I said, okay, how big is this body dolly going to need to be for this cab, and how long does it need to be, or how big does it need to be later on when I want to put the bed on it or whatever, maybe another car later on. So, okay, here we go. So I took one of the boards, one of the 12-foot boards, I cut it in half, 2 6-footers, which is what you're seeing here. Okay, that's a 6-foot piece of 2x8. I got one on each side. I mean, this is so simple, I know, and that's why I want to show it to you. In case you're like me, where you think you got to do this big, complicated project to accomplish this, you don't. And the goal is, you know, everything's so expensive these days. Use what you got, and you know, if you've got square tubing around or whatever you have laying around, if you've got something laying around, go ahead and use it. You know, you could do this out of steel if you want. I just didn't happen to have enough steel to do it, but I had a couple pieces of wood. So I cut that one board in half, and then you see this board here in front. I needed just under 4 feet wide for this particular cab, so the width's not real critical. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but whatever. All I needed was 4 feet wide, so I took another board, I cut a piece there, 4 foot, or just a couple inches under, cut another piece 4 foot, and then in the middle here, with the remaining portion of that last piece, I put another piece going across. And the purpose of that piece is it just keeps these ends that are standing straight up from, you know, falling over one way or the other. If I had more wood, I would have put probably one on each end, but because I didn't have enough wood, I just put one in the middle, and that's going to accomplish that goal. And this here is just an old piece of strand board I had laying outside in the grass. It's still wet, as a matter of fact, and I screwed that underneath it just to give this thing, you know, just to give it lateral support so the frame doesn't, you know, tweak. And that's it. I mean, I showed you these before. I had these old wheels I got at a junkyard years ago, because years ago I planned to make a body dolly, and kind of like what I was talking about, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get some bunch of steel, and go buy some brand new steel, and I'm gonna make this really cool deal that's adjustable, and any length, any width, and I had all these plans. Well, the reality is these have been sitting around in attic storage for 15 years. And I said, enough of the fantasy. We don't need to build this big, awesome body dolly. This is just wood. You may say, oh, geez, that's dangerous. It's not strong enough. Well, this cab probably only really weighs, it's just a piece of sheet metal is all it is. This cab probably only weighs, I don't know, 100 pounds, 150 pounds. It's not much. I mean, I can lift one end of it up real easy. 2 guys could lift this up. It's not that heavy. So, you don't need this massive frame. So I just want to point that out. I know that seems obvious, but 15 years ago that really wasn't obvious to me. So don't think you got to impress anybody with this awesome body dolly you made. Just do what you got to do. Get it done. I had these wheels. If you don't have wheels, you'll have to go buy some good wheels, some good casters, which you can get anywhere. That'll probably be the most expensive thing. 2 pieces of wood aren't that much money these days, especially if you just happen to have it for free hanging around. And you don't even need to put, I put this piece of strand board underneath for my, lateral support of my frame, but just because I had it, if I didn't have it, I probably would have just taken some 2x4s and just X'd this, did like an X brace, just so the frame doesn't tweak, that's all it's there for. So it's real simple. Only money I spent on this is I bought a bunch of 1/2-inch lag bolts, and these wheels are put in with lag bolts. I put real long ones going into here, goes up through into this 2x8, and then obviously shorter ones here, and the lag bolts hold it together. If you want to say I finished this project and I'm not sure if I'm going to do another car, or maybe I won't do another car for 5 years and this thing's in my way, I can just hex bolts. I can just unbolt this thing, and it can, take up very minimal space. Throw it up in an attic, or, whatever you got, crawl space. And then if you need it later on, you just assemble it again. Just very simple, so you really didn't even need to watch me build it. So, here's my receipt. I put some PVC cement on there. That's another project, but I spent about $50 on the screws, which is kind of expensive, but that's just what things cost now. This was my print. It's very simple. So not much to show you, but I'm just trying to make a point with this video, honestly. Don't kill yourself over engineering. Just, something simple like this works, and it'll help you get your projects done. And so yeah, that's it. I'm gonna get this thing into the spray booth and start cleaning this guy up, and I'll show you that and tell you what I ran into and what I used for paints and primers and all that sort of thing. And so we'll continue on with this build. I'm working on the hood right now, and I'll take you and show you that real quick, but that's about all in this video. So let's kind of go in here and I'll show you the hood. And I had given it phosphoric acid treatments, and I'm going to start sanding on it. I haven't really sanded on it yet. This is just phosphoric acid, and I used on the underneath portion. I was in a hurry, so I used some muriatic acid to kill some of the heavy rust that was underneath it, which we talked about the different acids in a video before. You can see this is the original red. This is where the emblem was. And if you're into that patina thing, which I'm not, I don't even like that word patina. It drives me crazy. But if you're into that, this thing looks kind of cool. It's the real deal. It has been sitting out in the weather forever. But again, it has had a few phosphoric acid treatments done to it. So, it does weather it a bit more. So if you are into that sort of thing, that's cool. Spray some phosphoric acid on it. Let it sit. And then, you'll get something that looks like this. And if you like that sort of rat rod look, or it's nice if you are into this, because my God, there's no body work. Other than making the panels straight enough where they'll open and close, that's all you got to do. It's pretty cool in that way. And I think it's interesting when you see a vehicle like this that's real and not fabricated. I don't like it when somebody takes a vehicle that has paint and sands it off and acid treats it and tries to replicate this. I think that's kind of goofy, but whatever. I mean, it's all on what you like, so it's all cool. Whatever you guys like to do is fine. So I wish I did like this, because I'd be ready to bolt this hood on right now, but I don't. And I'm not doing this truck for myself, as I've said. This is for my wife, and women like shiny, pretty things, so generally. So this isn't going to fly. Although she did say the hood looks cool, but she still wants it painted her teal or whatever it is, and turquoise, sorry. So, okay, that's all I got today. I hope that body dolly maybe just inspires you to say, yeah, this guy's right. I'm going to hammer this thing together. That took me about 2 hours to build. I was a little disappointed. I was hoping to do it in an hour, but I was kind of disorganized and tired, and so it took me about 2 hours to make it, which is still not bad. So 2 hours and $50. I've got a nice body dolly that I can use for my projects, and I'm happy. So, okay, guys, I appreciate you watching this. I think some of you guys like some of these simpler videos. I like to do real technical stuff, but it seems like the simple stuff people relate to a little better. So I'm not going to be shy about doing a video like this, just to, show you how Mickey Mouse I am sometimes. But and we'll do some more technical videos too. I enjoy those. Those will be more, on transmissions and maybe engines and things like that. So, okay, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate all of you, and please subscribe to the channel, and don't be afraid to put some comments in there. And hopefully your comments aren't too ugly, but whatever, free speech. I don't delete anything unless, maybe you're using some profanity in there or something. I'm trying to keep this family friendly. So if you guys are watching this with the young kids or whatever, you can kind of count on me not to, get too graphic or whatever, so that you're not, having to explain what these words mean to your children, so, or discuss your wives or anything like that. So anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in another one.